How's it going, everyone? Welcome back to TheBlueShifting and welcome back to Mamiya. So we're at the epilogue. We're basically at the end. However, someone did say in a comment for last week's episode that there is a kind of post story. Takes like a couple hours of just kind of showing a further exploration of where things go after the story is ended. So we'll definitely dive into that. I'll just need to figure out how to get to it. But unless this epilogue's really short, I am expecting that we'll just do the epilogue for today. Might share some of my thoughts about it, but I'm not going to wrap up the story until after like that post series of scenes, whatever that ends up being. But if the epilogue's really short, I might try and start the epilogue today. We'll see. I don't really know what to expect here, but we're approaching the end, which has been a long time coming. I mean, I played the first two parts of this series years ago when it first released. Fruitbat Factory was able to gave me a copy, and I was very grateful for that, and really enjoyed the story. I was a little sad when it kind of ended on such a cliffhanger, so to be able to come back and finish it finally, it's been a while. Like, to be fair, part 3 did come out a while ago, but it was tough to find time to put it into the schedule. I'd already made previous commitments, and since then I kind of changed some of the things, the way I run some of the things on the channel, and that was a major factor as well, so yeah, it's been a lot, but I'm very excited to see how it goes from here, and I'm excited to see what happens now. Natsumi's gone. I hope there's going to be some remnant of him, but the understanding was that the best way to forge peace was to get Mamiya an opportunity to become a spectator, and to take down the second Mamiya, the Natsumi version of Mamiya, take him out completely. By giving Mamiya an opportunity to kind of fulfill the role he always wanted, because a spectator really feels a lot like what he kind of wanted to be, and at the same time preventing the collapse of these timelines. He kind of saves the story. He's the hero that I don't even know if anyone's going to remember, because he kind of erased himself. So we'll have to see how that plays out. I'm hoping there'll be something left. But even if there is something left, will that remnant remember anything? I don't know. Well, let's find out, I suppose. Let's go. Year X, December. Another day, another funeral for someone who is no longer among us. A solemn atmosphere hung heavily in the air. God, I remember these arts. This is from the opening of the game. Some wept, others looked ahead in silence. But I like how it's like the character and then like kind of like their the 1999 antithesis, where they all were reminiscing about the have we met somewhere? Was that Natsumi? I don't know. Oh, was that literally the whole epilogue? That was it. That was all hyped up for nothing. Dang it! I should have just done that last week. All right, so we're gonna go through the comments. I'm guessing the credits. I'm not gonna listen to it because it's obviously gonna get copyrighted. This whole series gets copyrighted. Fruitbat Factory, though, shout out to them. Awesome. Hopefully there's something at the very end of this, but if not, we'll go and dig out whatever the actual ending is, so hold on for a sec. Mamiya, a shared illusion of the world's end. Beautiful. Ah! Where are you? It is me, so this is like, Natsumi, like the echo. I don't care how long it takes, or what sacrifices I have to make. I will continue to search and seek for you. Alright. Oh, look at that ending, the ending screen here. Mamiya. Okay. Then I need to figure out how to find the after story is somewhere. So give me a second. Oh, it's interesting. So I went to go to search for what if pages, and it's not Natsume anymore. It's Mamiya. That's kind of cute. Now, when I gave that to them, yeah, there's in Mamiya's. Interesting. I wonder if is that the after stories you were talking about? Man, I wish I knew. Man, I wish I knew. It might be. Ryo, Minato, Haruki. I'm gonna keep looking though. I can only find you in some of the what if pages, and yet, huh? What's this? So there's something here. Oh, okay, maybe I found it actually. Like I went to check the what if pages, and then suddenly it's like, oh, it's actually doing more dialogue. Pick up the page. I approached the dropped page and picked it up. It was a burnt piece of paper. Why is there a burnt piece of paper at a place like this? Huh. Attention, EX has been unlocked. Please proceed from the chapter selection screen. Alright, that's it. I found it. That's so funny. I actually got to do that. I got to do it myself. Oh. Okay. I had to like fish around for a while and get some advice, but yeah. So like that's the thing. Like so here's all the pages and there's a little arrow here. And now we have EX. All right. So this was not quite the adventure I expected, but we're gonna go for it. Let's see how this goes. EX. Life spent by a single person was insignificant and brief. Ending the world before you expired was simply impossible. Soichiro, why are you reading? Natsume Sujo. A poetry collection. I got it from the library. Oh, can you read one for me? I, a child at the time, nodded in response. Was there love out in the desert? Could you dig through burning sand to let water spring above? Knees on the searing dunes, eyes on the world so vast. A sight breathtaking, a task overwhelming. Yet today, I part the ground again, burrowing through burning sands. Would I find love like this? A single love that's mine alone. Thank you. It's a wonderful poem, but it feels a bit sad. Mother, I want to find a love that's mine alone. Oh my, and what do you want to do? Why would you want to do that? I feel that I have to do it. Even if love may actually be just a transparent sand. I often wondered, was a child of just 17 years, a so-called spectator who could only observe the world from the outside, what could someone like me have done before the end of the world? Still, I believe that if I could at least find the bits of love scattered in the desert, I might have been able to quench the thirst of the people sharing the neighborhood of the world. I wanted to keep searching for it until the moment the world ended. 01, empty regalia. Alright, we're back! Anyway, the prep is done. Your ego, your selfishness, demands that your friends are not killed by Mamiya, right? Yes. Very well. Then turn the page and witness the result of your ego has brought. Following those words, I used my fingers, still trembling with excitement, to open the book. Tokyo during the year in which the world was prophesied to end. December 21st, year X. The day before Natsume Soichiro's birthday. The world was on the verge of ending. Huh. The moment I opened the book, I felt a hot wind on my face. What's going on? A galactic parade, solar storms, meteor fall. Many causes were spoken of as possible. God, why'd they go for the intense music already? With chaos beyond human imagining behind him? Ooh, that looks cool. I love eclipses. We're back here, though. A man stood there. Hello there, spectator. Why are you here? You wonder why, but you're the one who found the answers. To what? To the insignificant questions surrounding Mamiya's existence and Natsumi's death. With those obstacles gone, all that's left is the great mystery of the year in which the world was prophesied to end. But the end of the world was just a prophecy. I know it didn't end in 1999 or 2012. Come on, now spectator, that's another thing you decided. The year is X, a mix of 1999 and 2012. Okay. Because he's mixed the two, now technically causality isn't, like, cohesive anymore, so technically, it could all just end. So wait. When the 2 years were mixed, the color of Mamiya became more vivid and its existence stronger. Was he saying that the other commonality in the year they were set in, the prophecy of the world's end, also became more intense, enough to come true? Having a hard time believing it. To put 1999 and 2012 together to make the Earth, the Moon, the Sun, and even the universe itself be duplicated and overlapped? Thank you. You forced the world to do something it couldn't. No. Oh, what a joy. Nights as fun are hard to come by. After all, today is the day my dearest desire is fulfilled. It's been a long time thinking. The speed at which time changes grows faster and faster day by day. All information is spread in an instant, becoming boring just as quickly, and once it's drained of all worth, something else rises to take its place. And when the difference born from the presence of a shape, body, is torn away along with all the common senses coagulated over it, where would you find its true value? Look, spectator, and burn it into your retinas. Look how the world changes and proceeds to end. Look at what's left after it happens. There will be nothing left, besides the fact that it will be over. If the world ends, Mamiya will be over too. Upon hearing my answer, a gust of wind hit us, and as the man smiled with intense joy. Not at all. After it ends, I, Mamiya, Mamiya will stop being a fantasy and become something that can exist. My dearest desire is finally being fulfilled. The flesh, the bones, the warmth I've been waiting for 3,000 years is finally here. There's no need for any roundabout nonsense, no barrier between the flesh and the mind. After all, when the world ends, all that's left here is perspective. Perspective? The destruction of the world is synonymous with the destruction of society. With the objective view of society dead, the only thing deciding the world will be subjective perspective. Still smiling, Mamiya reached to me with his hand and touched my cheek. I could feel it. Can you feel my warmth? Within the cold hanging in the emptiness, I definitely felt the existence of human warmth. Mamiya exists. What Mamiya spoke of felt like nothing but an absurd fairy tale. I had no time to waste on nonsense of an illusion, but the fact that this man had been realized, the feelings flowing in through that touch made me unable to look away. Mamiya, why are you so fixated on proving Mamiya's existence? Is it really worth the world's end? You wonder why? It's because unlike you, I wasn't chosen. His cold gaze made my heart freeze over. Don't you dare say that you've forgotten Natsumi. The name that no one would call me by again made my temple twitch. The moment the claws sank into the scar, I didn't want anyone to touch. The world's gonna end anyway, so just die with me. The two of us became a single mass and fell. Interesting. We were 300 meters in the sky. I felt like everything aside from my bones was being dragged where it had been just seconds earlier. The air resistance made it hard to even breathe. As the altitude decreased and distance became short, we turned into a bullet charging toward the surface. You just got a body, didn't you? Why would you do something so suicidal? To test it. To prove that Mamiya has a body yet is undying. Huh? You don't get it. In a world dominated by subjective perspective, weighed down pressure by weight of the world, Mamiya, he said, laughed joyously. I will continue to exist as long as Mamiya remains in someone's perspective. And he could perpetuate it. So if he has a physical body and can physically appear to people, introduce himself as a Mamiya, and people understand that a Mamiya exists, he could just perpetually exist. No sound, no pain, no sense of anyone's presence. Blood escaped my entire body, and despair-inducing cold blew through my skin. Mamiya, he said, disappeared from my arms at some point. He had a body now, so did he die? Or had he vanished with the word as a reborn Mamiya somewhere? Where am I? I was falling with Mamiya, and then... Next thing I knew, the extra-dimensional light embraced me. Greetings, frail spectator. A majestic voice resounded through the entirety of space. Yes, my lord? Not questioning it at all, I subconsciously spoke those words. If you would not mind, weak one. I couldn't see any visage within the light. But I felt that our lord had a smile on his face. Please show me your story. My story? As you are wasted as a mere spectator. The invisible gaze was as sharp as an abyss, and it appeared to see right through the concealed darkness. Agree, and I will grant you the disposition to become even a king. The words had a divine echo, making my very soul tremble. I didn't want to end up like my senior behind a door. I would not be someone to be exploited for their convenience. My lord, I would gladly offer you my story. A heavy sound declaring the beginning rang out, and the altar appeared at the heart of the chapel. You who would carry out a mission granted by heaven, present yourself. With a solemn voice, the priest gave a congratulatory address. I silently stood up and lowered my head. I look forward to seeing how you change. The next moment, the pages danced around, were caught in the gravity of the story, and whirled around. It was as though they were caught in a tempest of joy, grief, madness, and despair. Now, make your wish. What is it? What is your true desire? My desire is... Oh. To kill you again and again. There was no way to tell whether the crimson blood flowing on the asphalt was mine or if it came from Mamiya. With a touch, it struck like a slimy oil and made a noticeable smell. The red carpet shone and began to burn. Then I will try it too. Within the raging flames, the man stood up. He gulped down the ashes of his dead heart, and the unsullied eyes burned red with hatred. I'll kill you again and again, Mamiya. Ugh! Gunfire echoed through the ceiling of the trichiliocosm. I will ask again, Nidomi. You look a bit different than before, you silly goose. Responding to the pained words with just a look, I asked again. Is it possible that for beings other than spectators to enter other stories? Like hell I'd know that. How about you go open your eyes wide and check all the books of the world? Ah! I stomped on his burned leg, distorting his composed face. I have no time, that's why I'm asking you. You have no time? Don't make me laugh, our time is functionally infinite. Oh, I get it. You're in a hurry. Oh, I get it. You're in a hurry because you're up against something other than a spectator. I'll shoot the other leg next. Calm down. What's the point of that? We spectators just keep on regenerating. Even if I use this red bullet. Hold them down immediately. Hey, what are the librarians doing? They're already gone. Usually those born under the stories are bound to them and they can never escape those boundaries. I see. If someone besides a spectator can freely move between them, it would be a type of entity that exists in this world but isn't a spectator. A type of entity that isn't a spectator. It's what you, me, and everyone else must be. It must have been at first. Remember, the thing we are before birth, the thing I told you lingers around here in limitless quantities. The entities exist in the pre-soul state, as ideas. As something that puny is pushing you to the edge, huh? So what now? You're going to attack ideas? You know that attacking ideas isn't part of our job description, right? We're servants who exist for the sake of our Lord, you. Now that I'd been given power by our Lord, the aloof and mighty Nadomi looked really tiny. Nadomi? I looked at many droplets of cold sweat at his shapely forehead, and realized I couldn't progress until I killed him. It was only a brief period, but allow me to thank you for your help. Huh. Red ink flowed on the floor and sullied the soles of my shoes. From now on, I will only trust my own ego, my selfishness. Wiping the fluid that contained an awful long, concentrated story, I left the now empty room. Coughing uncontrollably, I lowered my aching body as I rushed through the hallway. What is happening? When I swallowed the blood that welled up in my mouth, rage built up in my stomach. My very core felt hot as fire. Fire manifested as though leaking out of my extremities and wrapped around my fingers. They became my limbs and my blood-stained body. The flames like congested blood, the blood like burning flames and disposition of a king. Was seeking Mamiya Yumehisa. A night had passed in Tokyo and the chaos had subsided. It was quiet to the point of feeling like yesterday's events had never even happened. It's not just yesterday, it's as though everything that had been done until now was erased. It was a place I thought I loved. But now that I'd lost the friends I had to protect, it turned into nothing but an annoying labyrinth that got in the way of finding the enemy. Where are you? There was only one reason why I'd bring myself to this land. Where are you, Mamiya Yumehisa? Within that roar of surrounding flames became even more intense. The eyes of deep, dull, rowan color glared at the destroying city of Tokyo, searching and seeking the movements of a dark green scarf. I'm not letting you get away. Muttering that with hatred, I, along with the flames, vanished into the darkness. This is not what I expected. Like, genuinely, I thought this was mostly just gonna be like, oh, pleasant, like, where are they now type of stories. I didn't think we were gonna get this, like, oh, he meets, like, the Lord, gets power, and he uses it, like, a wish to go and try and kill Mamiya again and again. To, like, why? I thought they were reconciled. I thought that everything was cool. Dang it. 02, Book of the Lost. Doomsday Dreams EX. What the hell? These are legs. I can't even move them right. Running is so tiring. Mamiya Yumehisa was running on the roadway with no one else around. The man who had just acquired a body didn't know how to move his limbs and mimic the movements he had seen in memories. I had no idea that's all so hard on the souls. In this situation where things were insufficient for society, the illusory tours suppressed by society could actually exist. How do they used to run again? I'll finally be able to meet them. Breathing raggedly, Mamiya Yumehisa rushed over to the road that was his alone. Where was Arasagawa Osamu? Nigaki Mayuri? Mochi Katoma? Samajima Sotaru? Where were they? I finally turned your dream into reality. His heart was aflutter as he envisioned the coming embrace. No way, you're Mamiya. Mamiya, what, you actually exist? I can't believe it. Prove it to me with a direct touch. Ah, he's real. The real Mamiya has come to us. Faster, I gotta hurry. He wanted to be rewarded as soon as possible. Excuse me. The pink house that the four of them had lived in together. Huh? Its living room, we saw their cold, dead bodies. Oh, right. He hadn't realized until now, but people who have bodies physically die when the world ends. Huh? He begged for help. He begged and pleaded for help, someone to save him, to put him to sleep. Why? He finally had his hands, and yet... He could finally touch them, so why were they so cold? Kato? The person he wanted to show himself to the most came to mind. He looked at the human shape, earth-colored things. His extremities turned cold, he was drained of strength, and he couldn't move as he wanted. What is this? His jaw was trembling at the sound of his teeth chattering echoed in his mouth. No one was holding him down, yet he couldn't move at all. Was this fear? What did he witness Suo Kaido's lifeless body too? I heard that even in the world ends, people who have the antibodies are going to survive. Mamiya's king was someone who believed he had them, but I'll just forget about it. He realized he had to shut away the question about Suo's survival deep within his memories. With his vision hot and hazy, his lungs unable to take in enough air, he staggered out of his house as if crawling. He wasn't taught how to run properly. He walked through the city of Tokyo full of heavy and sweet smell of death. There had been many things he wanted to do upon receiving a body. He wanted to know the sensation of taste, the feeling of food going down his throat. He wanted to move around as much as he could until he collapsed from fatigue. He wanted to know the feeling of sleeping on a sofa bed. He wanted to graze the skin, shed blood, and discover the feeling of pain. He tripped on some rubble and collapsed. His hands reflexively stuck out but became hot. The blood he yearned for was the same red hue as anyone else's. But with no one to console him or offer words of sympathy. This isn't what I expected. He's merely wanting to be acknowledged by the people he liked. All he wanted was for them to be happy. Why exactly have I come this far? The bodies of his friends, the future where they were together simply didn't exist. He didn't care if it was. He needed a purpose to life that would validate his choices. What came to mind at the back of it was the back of the blonde man. The scorching strength of his eyes that persisted in his unfiltered feelings. He sure was mad, wasn't he? Simply remembering that face filled Mamiya with joy. If he could find meaning in Mamiya, who was acknowledged or accepted by no one, I'd be happy. He wanted him to resent him. He wanted him to chase him. He wanted him to need him. Right, everyone may be gone, but I myself am one who named me. Oh. I was the one who gave myself the name Mamiya Yumehisa. After laughing out loud, he spoke his name to the heavens. The name that needed no one's approval echoed with a proud, lonely timbre. Somewhere, a large pillar of fire rose. In the flames was a spectator's wrath. Mamiya Yumehisa's body trembled with joy before the holy flame of hope. Hoping to be burned up, he moved his body like an insect. The half-destroyed church with none of its majesty from before. Within a deep, silent dark, a flickering dancing flame shone, illuminating the side profile of a man boiling with rage and the man who staggered his way into the church. He's rare feet away from me. Normally it's the other way around. Did you have a good time waiting for me? Let's just enjoy a chat or something. We're the only people still moving after all. Following those words, the flames moved to surround Mamiya. Are you mad? I see. Within that distorted world, an emotion he hadn't felt in a while made him crack a smile. What is your goal? I could kill you right now if I felt like it. Oh, and why aren't you doing it? Because you want to get to enjoy some small talk? As if. His hands covered in black gloves took out a book. Let me read you your story. Huh? That's not something even a spectator should be able to do. I mean, my body isn't even made of ink. No. If you truly exist right now, I can use my power as a spectator to expose you. Mamiya Yumahisa fixed his heated gaze on me. For a purified air passed between us, as though the church was being protected from the stench of the lowly world. I briefly smelled a hint of something flowery when... He turned his neck like someone in a good mood and extended his hand toward me. Alright. The pale hand that had never been touched by anyone grasped my gloved hand. I've always waited for a time I could get to know you, get you to know me. Read my story, Natsumi. Story sighed, Mamiya. I was Mamiya. I was born at the fingertips of Soul Kaido and as his imaginary friend. Though to be more precise, my soul had been dragged down from an idea in the trichiliocosm. I could become Soul Kaido's, the king's, friend. Kaido, you forgot your gym uniform. Oh no, thanks for reminding me, Mamiya. You're a high schooler, you're in middle school, and I still have to worry about you. What would you do without me? You're my invisible friend who will always be with me, right? Yeah, I am. I'm always watching over you as your invisible friend. Within the reality in which Kaido slept, I, unbeknownst to all, spent my nights suffering. I wanted a body. No, I was chosen by Kaido. I wanted to be perceived. I was chosen, so I gotta stay here. A green curtain fell over the distorted end-of-the-century sky. The activities of men, the night in which even a golden moon was hidden by clouds and lost its outline. The foundation that was believed to continue on forever began to shake, and the piece that had taken root became thin. That was why, when I saw those lambs lost in the boundary between dark and light, I gladly welcomed them to my side. Osamu? It was possible for everyone. Mayuri. It just happened that those four were the ones who were chosen. Toma. They just happened to have good compatibility with illusions. Totaru. They just happened to love and need me. Arasagata Osamu's fingers touched the edges of the glass. Nigaki Mayuri's awkward pronunciation for whatever she became existed. Samajo Soto's dignified manner of eating. Morichika Toma's warmth, white breaths. I loved it all. I was happy just being with them. It was undoubtedly the springtime of my life. At some point, I wasn't sure when Suo Kaido began to sleepwalk. Strangely enough, it happened to be the time I was meeting with others without his knowledge. Perhaps the brunt of the unreasonable force born from my selfishness was directed at him. It made me happy when he walked through the night, still sleeping and loving dreams. It felt as if he was walking by my side. I know, Mamiya, you fool, it was no time to be happy. I let my naivete take over and looked away from the steps the Reaper made him take as a result. In December 1999, as shocked as it was, Suo Kaido lost his life to sleepwalking. One day, the smell of death around Kaido became stronger. Mamiya, what's wrong? Nothing. Anyway, hurry up and sleep before your mom scolds you. Okay, good night. The smell permeated the air and made me lose my means of escape, and then I remembered. I was remained of the meaning behind me, a less than human being by Kaido's side. I looked at his moon-like side profile and gently caressed his shoulder. That's why I'm here. This is why I was left behind, right? I'm going to fulfill my duty. If there was a cause for concern, it would have been... No. Even if someone gets sad, I'm sure they'll figure it out all right away. Hey, Kaido? Thank you for hugging me back then. It made me very happy. And so, in 1999, I presented the Reaper with my less-than-human soul in place of Solo Kaido's. Though with my incomplete being, all it really did was slightly delay his demise. Is that the end of your story? No, I'm just now getting to the core of it. Did you enjoy the Trichiliocosm? Did you enjoy the Trichiliocosm? To those freed from the cycle of spectators, the realm above is full of bliss and a place where you don't see the concepts of time. I hear it's very much like heaven. So, what do you think happens if someone with an incomplete soul returns to the Trichiliocosm using a path not accounted for? It passes for a paradise to you spectators because you discard your sense of time when you cross over to the River of Oblivion. My soul, unrefined in every way, still has a sense of time. They say that a day of the world and the departed equals 400 years in reality. For what felt like eternity, unperceived by anyone, I was trembling in icy solitude. It was nothing but hell. For a long time, no doubt 3,000 years, I'd been waiting all alone. So yeah. So it's implying that this is an after story because Mamiya was sent by Natsumi to the Trichiliocosm and essentially became a spectator, but not by going through the normal routes. And because of that, he probably started going mad. Someone respond! I'm right here! I shouted and shouted, but no one ever replied. Of course they wouldn't. Just as ideas were normally invisible, nobody could see me either. It wasn't an idea, so I had a consciousness of my own. I wasn't a spectator, but I wasn't perceived by anyone. Not belonging to any group, I was an outlier of the world above. At least say something back. I'm right here. Yeah, that sucks. My mind? I'd lost it long ago. No matter how many times I tried to cut my consciousness or die, I couldn't even do that. Neither my loud cries nor my angered shouts ever reached anyone. By the time eternity passed, I grew tired of even losing my mind. I begun to kill time by observing the work of the spectators. That was why I knew and realized. I found out that this world, the books, how to set the true course, how to conclude a job, and even the contradiction behind some of the system of spectators. And how they bring a story to ruin. I saw all kinds of jobs and all kinds of books. The ghost of the Trichiliocosm let out a breath. And within that obscure number of books, one stood out. I found our story. The one that began with the line Tokyo during the year in which the world was prophesied to end. The story in which of the world where Solo Kaido lived. Not being a spectator myself, I couldn't read a book that wasn't in a spectator's hands. I could only follow a few lines as they were already there. I'd reread a couple hundred characters of mine for many years. And with the room for imagination that those few lines gave me, I prayed that Solo Kaido lived a happy, healthy life. Nothing more. And that's when you appeared in the Trichiliocosm as a spectator. Hello, it's a pleasure to meet you, Mr. Spectator. Do you understand language? Oh, wait, didn't I die? Oh, I'm Natsumi. Is this the afterlife? Oh my, why do you have the memories from the time you had your body? Ah. I stopped breathing for a second. You don't know it, but a really long time had passed before the moment you came to first took the book in hand. But thanks to that, I was able to finally go to the middle layer. Of course, I used that to check in what became of the people I was involved with, including Solo Kaido. But you know the result. Solo Kaido died in 2003. Yes. It was caused by Osamu and Soturu. No, parts of the four that sought Mamiya. The scale of life, the karmic of life. How ironic. Does this mean that Kaido wouldn't have died if I hadn't disappeared from his sight? Huh. Looking down from above the library, in the hall high up, I saw the librarians moving around busily. Poured tea, turned pages, footsteps, and laughter. A tasteless and odorless loneliness extended as if in a deluded slow motion. I'd promised to embrace this entity in exchange for saving Kaito's life, but all my incomplete soul could do is delay it, so my suffering wasn't enough to weigh down the scales, huh? And yet... why did they continue to chase after someone like me, someone incomplete? They needed Mamiya, me, but what could come of that? The refined handrail I was sitting on now was a popular suicide jump spot. Though having fulfilled my desire, I hadn't died once. They chased after someone puny, someone less than human. My rested heart could no longer move for anyone's sake. So, this must be the Mamiya that we meet. Like, when Natsume's gone in, he's gone to that middle layer, which usually involves like Tokyo Tower. He would talk to the Mamiya. So they're saying that that Mamiya was this one that had like been banished when he died saving Suo to the Trichiliocosm, but he spent, oh gosh, I am so sorry, I don't know why I'm yawning so much. He spent like 3,000 years in this like limbo state, going completely mad, and then going so crazy that he couldn't even be crazy anymore. And then finally, Natsume appeared here. So he kind of like was part of the whole journey to begin with, and then got sent up. He got in like he was up here and he saw the whole thing, and that's partly why he manipulates Natsume. Because that level, the Trichilo, like the middle level, Mamiya was the one at the end of Act 2 that motivated Natsume to fuse 1990 and 2012 together. So that was this like mad Mamiya, like absolutely crazy one. Master can no longer move for anyone's sake. I can't give them what they want. A movement I was used to, putting weight onto the back of my head, I collapsed backwards into the emptiness. In the final moment before the floating green scarf, I saw a glimpse of a large rabbit head. We finally met you, our ancestor. Huh? I quickly turned around and somehow balanced myself. When I evened out my breathing, I saw 3 children. They were standing there waiting for my words. What are they? Not librarians or spectators, entities from some facility outside, maybe? More importantly, why were they able to perceive me? We are Mamiya. Huh. That word made me understand everything. From Arasa I got Osamu and Kikuchi Ryo. From Nigaki Mayuri to Morishika Haruki. From Morishika Toma and Tojo Minato. We are Mamiya, born because of your influence. So we registered into the idea known as Mamiya after all. That means you and us are one and the same. They were still captivated by me, by Mamiya. In the depths of the memories buried by loneliness in the cold sea of 1999 where I lost my life, they created these new Mamiya. I most certainly wanted for them to become independent of me. I had no idea they'd keep me in their memories. Yet these secondary illusions born of malice made me break into a smile. I had no idea they kept me, Mamiya, going. Oh, what a wonderful friends I've been blessed with. These products of my curse filled my heart with joy and relief. Let's go, Mamiya. The story of the year of which the world is prophesied to end will soon be started by his hand. Come now, there's nothing to worry about. I know his thought patterns as well as I do my own. Let's keep hope. And let's invite our friends to the Trichiliocosm just as you want. Children that become Mamiya would surely get along with me. Let's share eternal joy together as Mamiya. And so... Alright, I'm reading it. Tokyo during the year in which the world is prophesied to end. The curtains open to our story. So, how was my story? Surrounded by the wind, eyes full of expectation, looked up at me. Go on, tell me what you think of my story. I noticed a hint of emptiness in his voice. It seemed as though he believed that, small as it may have been, this story would regain a worthy light if seen by a spectator. What of it? Huh? I'm asking, what of it? Didn't move me at all. It's all worth a story. Not changing my expression one bit, I spat out those words. The man shuddered for a moment, then green jewels picked out from between his soft black hair. Oh, I see. Mamiya's eyes were burning fierce with anger and sadness. You're the one who begged me to let you read it. And we're the only independent single entities in this universe. Why are you making light of my existence? Why can't you understand my heart? As if he shouted was a signal, the walls of the church began to collapse. I wanted to read and confirm something, and now I'm certain. Your existence is meaningless to me. I can't even begin to see Mamiya's heart. A small flame spread between the rubble and soon burned ferociously. The glowing flame released a demonic light and surrounded us. I see. Worthless. Must feel like a story of such a small world to you, huh? I persisted and continued to ignore even his pained laughter. The man was like a lone clown standing in the spotlight of a circus. After crackling and backing away a few steps, he turned his head to look at me. His face was plastered with a grin of hatred I'd never seen before. You said something about killing Mamiya, right? If you're planning to exterminate all Mamiyas, you're probably going to be busy for a long time. What? Beyond the flames, he chuckled at supremacy as his prey bit the bait. Like I said, I looked over countless books. I left transparent fingerprints, meme fingerprints, in all of them. Mamiya Yumehisa spread his hands wide open and directed them at me. Transparent fingerprints. Nonsense. You're either a spectator nor an idea. There's no way you can do that. I wouldn't be so sure. Go ahead, look over the books in the Tranquilio-cosm with your eyes open wide. Though I can't deny the possibility you may overlook them. I won't ever give you peace again. Keep living in fear of my obsession. To prove that all crows were black, one had to catch every crow in the world. But what if, in that moment, a different colored crow flew in the blind spot? Don't mess with me! Not caring that I got burned, I leaned forward and grabbed him by the chest and brought him close. The strangely familiar sensation made me falter for a moment, but I slowly scowled and withstood it. Mamiya will end here and now. It's over when I kill you. Well, you convince yourself of that. Outside of these thoughts, my secondary illusions will just continue to thrive. I would accept that. I'll never accept Mamiya's existence. I spent a long time strangling that slender neck hidden behind the scarf. He began twitching his arms, but the more strength I put into him, he began twitching with my arms, within my arms, but I put more strength into my grip to restrain him. The man had just gained a body, didn't even know how to resist. All he could do was give in to the violence. Even though it came through such means. The lonely, begrudged ghost found joy in the fact that he was being touched. Why are you so deeply against accepting Mamiya? You act like doing that will consume your own existence. Shut up! Stop talking now! Disappear from the world! As hatred coursed through my muscles, my leather glove kept digging into his throat. The screams of an infant, still showing no resistance, resounded in my eardrums. He gasped for oxygen while mouthing something as though he was desperately trying to tell me something. Even if this world ends, I will be reborn as Mamiya and... Suddenly there was a strange sound of sensation. And Mamiya Yumehisa feebly lowered his arms. I did it! I finally killed Mamiya! Did I really, though? The blood filling my inside of my mouth kept leaking through the sides of my lips. Oh, why am I still hurting? Outside of these thoughts, my secondary illusion will just continue to thrive. I looked up and saw the empty church. The damaged supports looked like they were about to fall, and the intense change in temperature is bringing it to its limit. This was the place where they mourned for me during my funeral. There must have been something I felt about that. I scolded myself for leaving myself open to bask in painful memories. No, if I stay here, I might break down. I couldn't allow that. I had to stay strong. I took a deep breath and looked ahead with cold eyes. I'll stop opening the book. The memories I've shared with you all turned me weak. Goodbye. He was crying there. Tokyo was burning. Not a trace of it was left. History, memory, everything turned to ash. And the frozen moon consumed it all. Next time I opened my eyes, I was crying, surrounded by countless books. A droplet fell in the black book I was holding. I took several short breaths, doing what I could to release my soft emotions. And then I closed the book. My dear friends were gone now. There was no future to be found anywhere in that world. For a moment, I considered putting the book back on the bookshelf. If I buried it within this mountain of unnamed books and consigned it to oblivion, both me and the book would be happy. I knew that, and yet, I placed the book at my side. I couldn't let go of it. Even though my happy memories could be replaced by a curse. Book of the Lost. Ooh, interesting. You know, I think we're gonna end here. I'm like more tired than I expected, and this is a good place to stop because we're gonna start book 3 next. I'm not sure exactly how many books there are, so we'll see. Maybe this will be a 3-parter if it follows the same pattern as the other chapters, and it's probably gonna have 6 to 8. So we'll have to see how this all plays out, but it's interesting. Really interesting, isn't it? I wonder what we're gonna see. I wonder what we're gonna learn. Again, sorry if it's a little bit of a shorter episode just because of that, but like, again, I'm just oddly tired. I don't know, maybe I just don't have it in me tonight to like do more. It sucks too because it's like, I only have so much time to do things, like to record and to like rest and relax. So maybe I just need more time for me. Unfortunately, I feel like that actually could be a result too. There could be weeks where I just don't have the energy or the means to kind of bring myself to play through all these stories, and maybe have a week where I just don't cover everything properly. I hope I do though. Anyway, thank you so much. Hope you enjoyed this episode. Hopefully you look forward to seeing what rest happens for this like EX stuff, which is really interesting. It is diving into some of the stuff that I hope it'll answer some of the questions I did have. One of the ones I didn't have though was this, like how the entity Mamiya even got involved in the beginning. Like it's kind of cool to see how his death when he saved Suo Kaido, like brought into the Trichiliocosm, which is what gave him access to get back into the story when Natsumi found the book. I think that's a cool way to showcase that, and like the implications of seeing the other Mamiyas in the Trichiliocosm with him are actually pretty intense too, because even if he were to just vanish now, I wonder if they would wander around the library and could enter stories like he did. So could they actually enter stories without like having tied to them? And maybe that's what he meant by his fingerprints, were those like echoes of him, the other forms. Interesting. Anyway, thank you so much for being here today. Thank you so much for joining me on the channel. Thank you for so much to the people who are supporting the channel, the members and the patrons. You're all wonderful. I don't deserve you, and I'm really grateful for you. We had a new new member on the channel show up. I added their name to the list. I usually try and get contact and make sure that I use a name they like. They didn't reach out back to me, so if you're listening to this and you became one of a recent channel member, like make sure you get your Discord credentials. Make sure that your name looks right in the end card. But that's just me kind of doing a shout out to the Void there. Anyway, thank you so much for everything you've done. Thank you so much for being a part of this journey. And until the next video, watching me or seeing me next, I'll see you there.